Pak Vassilis, how are you? Apa kabar?
Bu Safrina, selamat sore.
Selamat sore. It's been a while not seeing you in Jakarta.
Indeed, I'm very happy to be back. You know, my favorite expression every time I'm in Indonesia is energy positif, luar biasa.
Energy positive, luar biasa.
Yes,
Thank you
exactly.
so much as well for having CNBC Indonesia in your beautiful IQOS boutique here in
Pleasure
Jakarta.
to have you here, and I hope you enjoy our unique boutique.
Yeah, I heard this one is the first one in Southeast Asia, right?
Yes, the same way that we have established our first manufacturing facility for smoke-free products in Indonesia, and it is the first in Southeast Asia. So Indonesia has a lot of firsts.
Well, wonderful. Shall we do some interviews with you regarding the IQOS and then
Of course.
also what Sampoerna and Philip Morris International do in Indonesia?
Yes, with great pleasure.
Thank you so much. Pemirsa, Anda menyaksikan segmen khusus Manufacture Check CNBC Indonesia bersama saya, Safrina Nasution. Di kesempatan kali ini, kami telah bergabung secara eksklusif bersama dengan President for East and Southeast Asia, Pacific and Global Travel Retail at Philip Morris International, Mr. Vassilis Gkatzelis. How are you, sir?
Apa kabar? Selamat sore, Ibu Safrina. Nice to see you again.
Sehat, kabar baik, Bapak Vassilis. Thank you so much for having us in here in your IQOS boutique here in Jakarta.
It's a great pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you. So, firstly, I want to say welcome back to Indonesia because I know that you previously spent many years here leading Sampoerna, and now you're back here in the city. You return here in a broader regional role. So, my first and foremost questions: how does it feel to be back in Indonesia, personally and professionally, Bapak?
I'm full of energy. This is something I always experience when I'm in Indonesia. I feel very energized, very excited about our growth prospects and my day-to-day experience when I'm in Indonesia.
Still the same energy that you've experienced before back.
Even higher, because
Even higher.
I missed Indonesia for a while, so I'm back full of this contagious energy.
It's exciting to welcome you back again in Jakarta, Indonesia. So, Pak Vassilis, before assuming your current role right now as a President for East and Southeast Asia, Pacific, and Global Travel Retail at Philip Morris International, you served for years as President Director of Sampoerna. From your current perspective now from the Philip Morris International, how does the company view Sampoerna's strategic importance within the global organization?
Sampoerna has always represented a strategic pillar of innovation, of economic development, and also of human capital growth for Indonesia and broader Asia Pacific. And this is all anchored in science, in innovation, and investment. From a long-term standpoint, we have been in Indonesia since 1913 as Sampoerna, so more than 110 years. And we have invested more than $6.5 billion since 2005 in Indonesia. So we see Indonesia as a very strategic and long-term destination for the broader ecosystem of Philip Morris International. So really a big role, and this shows in key facts. We have been employing more than 90,000 employees, directly and indirectly. We have been manufacturing our products in 52 facilities, 9 owned facilities by PMI, but also 43 facilities through our local third-party operators. These are local entrepreneurs across Indonesia, and we have been investing across the broader ecosystem. So I know for Indonesia, downstreaming impact is very important, and I think Sampoerna offers a powerful example of how downstreaming happens in practice, because we start with the farming. We have direct contracts with around 20,000 farmers, all the way until distribution. We have been selling our products in more than 4 million retailers across the ecosystem. And quite importantly, it's not only for the domestic market. We are exporting in more than 30 destinations from Indonesia, including in Japan and South Korea, and we have been providing high added value services in 39 different markets. This includes technology, digitalization, it has the human resources aspect, but also supply chain. So in total, based on independent research from Compass, if we think the whole economic footprint of Sampoerna and the various activities, the estimated value added for the economy of Indonesia is more than 200 trillion rupiah, which is around 1% of the gross domestic product of Indonesia. So we see the impact, and we have this long-term orientation and commitment to the ecosystem of Indonesia.
Wonderful to hear the elaborations of you about the strategic importance of Sampoerna to Philip Morris International. And furthermore, we also would like to hear what differentiates Sampoerna from other PMI markets in the region, Bapak.
First, I would like to say that Indonesia is a very unique place because it combines the scale, but also with a very vibrant ecosystem and long-term approach to innovation. If I start from a global perspective, since 2008, we have invested more than $14 billion in development, scientific substantiation, and responsible commercialization of smoke-free products. These products are not risk-free, but are better alternatives versus continued smoking. And Indonesia plays a central role in this strategy of innovation and human capital development because Indonesia represents the first place in Southeast Asia and broader Asia Pacific to establish our first smoke-free factory. This happened in West Java in Karawang. We have invested more than $330 million, and we have started commercializing our innovative technology, heat-not-burn technology, back in 2019 through the club of IQOS. But what is important is that this innovation is embraced and is being nurtured through the local ecosystem. So we have been distributing our products of smoke-free products through more than 180,000 micro and small enterprises under the umbrella of Sampoerna retail community. We have partnerships with the whole entrepreneurial ecosystem, more than 600 MSMEs, and we see the prospects in continuing investing both for the domestic market but also for exports out of Indonesia.
Wonderful. Not only economic impact, but also social impact that the operations of Sampoerna brings for Indonesia. That's a very wonderful story. Now that you mentioned that the company has invested heavily in innovation and transformation across its global operations, now from PMI's perspective, how does innovation at Sampoerna strengthen the company's strategic role and relevance within Indonesia, particularly in today's era of rapid technological advancement?
Yes, as a consumer goods company in the tobacco and nicotine-containing product sector, we are always starting with the needs of the broader society. We are conducting our materiality assessment. We are asking our stakeholders what is expected from a tobacco company. That's why we have been investing in the science and technology to develop better alternatives versus cigarettes. And together with this factory, we established the first advanced laboratory in Indonesia, and this is the first also in the broader region. So we are investing, yes, and we have around 200 scientists from Indonesia. So there are Indonesians who are contributing not only for Indonesia purposes, but they are contributing to the broader, I would say, public health, because the number one impact we can make as a tobacco company is to reduce the impact generated by our product. So very proud moment, and Indonesia plays this central role in the ecosystem.
Now, again, from your perspective from Philip Morris International, how do global innovations from PMI adapt to Indonesia's unique market characteristic?
Yes, I will have to stress the fundamentals, and this is our core message always. If you don't smoke, don't start. If you smoke, quit. If you don't quit, change to a better alternative. This is the core pillar of our communication. But we know that science and technology has allowed the development of better alternatives. Now, the common denominator is that these products do not generate combustion. They contain nicotine and they are not risk-free. But as we know, nicotine is not the primary cause of the disease. And we are also looking at the needs of the Indonesia adult consumers and smokers in our case. And we know, for example, that in Indonesia, the ecosystem is very important, this vibrant ecosystem. For example, for Indonesia, we know that micro, small, and medium enterprises account for more than 62% of the gross domestic product and more than 97% of the employment. That's why we have established partnerships across the value chain, and especially we have this Sampoerna retail community, a very important community of local entrepreneurs spread across the country. And we have also the Sampoerna Entrepreneurship Training Center. We have been training more than 97,000 entrepreneurs. So this shows that we first embrace the ecosystem, we look long term, but also we're adjusting our products to the unique taste of Indonesia. For example, we know that clove is a very important characteristic for the ecosystem of tobacco in Indonesia. So we have adapted also our product to have Kretek inside. So product is adapted, commercialization is adapted, and it all starts with the science and innovation where Indonesia plays a central role.
But still adapting to its unique market characteristics.
Yes, one size does not fit all. We're here to understand the local context, think long term, formulate relationships. We don't think in terms of transactions. We always focus on long-term relationships and how the ecosystem will evolve, how we're going to innovate and also develop the human capital of Indonesia.
That's a beautiful philosophy to implement. Thank you very much. Now, you have also highlighted that smoke-free products as a key innovation from PMI and Sampoerna that offers better alternative to adult nicotine users. Bapak, now why has the development and continuous innovations of this alternative become such an important strategic priority for the company?
It's quite crucial to always anticipate the needs of the broader society. In the case of Indonesia, we have a presence of more than 110 years, and our main priority is exactly to create value for the broader ecosystem. This spans innovation, human development in terms of human capital. It includes economic investment, economic tax. For example, the tobacco and nicotine-containing product sector accounts for more than 10% of state revenues in terms of tax. So there are many contributions we make. But the number one priority is always to start with the product. So when we are anticipating the future, the number one, I would say, need is to develop better alternatives versus cigarettes. And we know there is a broad-based demand for better alternatives that today are possible thanks to science and innovation.
Developing its product, introducing its products in Indonesia, how do you see adult consumer behavior evolving in markets like Indonesia when it comes to smoke-free products?
We see that these smoke-free products have a vast potential to make an impact on the public health. I think this is the starting point. That's why we took the long-term approach, and it's important for the Indonesian society and for the broader ecosystem. Now, in concrete terms, we started commercializing our heat-not-burn technology under our IQOS brand in 2019. We have shared publicly our latest results. So in quarter 3 of 2025, IQOS reached 7.7% in terms of market share in urban Jakarta city, and we see a significant growth potential. Besides Indonesia, we have been commercializing smoke-free products in 100 markets around the world. And if I can use some example from Asia Pacific, already heat-not-burn technology has approached 50% of the nicotine market in Japan. It's quite, I would say, increasing in terms of market share also in Korea. For example, IQOS has approached around 14% share in Seoul. So we see broad-based demand, and definitely Indonesia plays a key role. So we are very proud to offer our latest and best innovation to the adult smokers in Indonesia.
Well, our conversation is getting more interesting, and we still need to hear from you, and we still want to ask a lot of questions from you and Philip Morris International. We're going to continue our conversation after the break. Kita akan lanjutkan diskusi eksklusif kita bersama dengan Philip Morris International setelah jeda. Tetaplah bersama kami di CNBC Indonesia.